Hi guys, it's me, just Lincoln again, and for this video I'm going to be dedicated to the Avatar Last Airbender vlogs. I shall be covering episode 3 of season 2 of this great show. And the name of this episode is Return to Omashu. It's really excellent because of the action involved with it and also some of the jokes and stuff to go with it. But for right now, the Team Avatar returns to Omashu after the Cave of Wonders part, in which they travel up the cave of the two lovers, Oma and Shu. And they are devastated to find out that this once thought to be impregnable zone was taken over by the Fire Nation. Which, yeah, I would assume that most people from in a Chinese-inspired area would be kind of surprised that their defensible, big-type defensible place was taken over by opposing force. I want to say that no country, no invading force in history has ever fully taken over China, or the main cities at least. Imperial Japan was close, but I don't think they took over most of the main urban areas. I could be wrong with that, but that's where it was. And that was an inspiration for the Earth Kingdom. So anyway, they have the Fire Nation is obviously taking over the region, so Aang and the others have to go find a childhood friend, King Boomy, which is pretty much what you think is the stereotypical cranky old man that's gone demented. But he turned out to be a genius earthbender. It's a real powerful, strong force to root to. But because he's Aang's friend, he decided to go in after him anyway. Which is such a very little thing for Aang to do. So anyway, they have to go through this walk, through the sewer. And the thing is that obviously there's bad water in there. And so you see Aang using his air ball to effectively shield himself from the pool water. And Katara can obviously use her waterbending skills to revolve the water from Aang's wake. So that leaves one person, Sokka, to be covered in sludge for the entire journey. So at the end of this little thing, they end up coming out of the tour on the main street, and Aang's fine, Katara is fine. Poor Sokka is covered in filth and grime. And these cute little octopi, which quite frankly look like adorable anime-inspired like little bloopers from the Marvel series, only they're colored purple. And the thing is that whenever they latch on the surface of a person or something, they can't be removed. The only way to get them to release their hold on someone is to actually I guess, tickle or scratch the sides of their heads, and then they release from the person. And it's funny because then they leave these little sucker marks on the people. It's actually pretty dull because they're called pentapox, which would be used to facilitate a mass evacuation of the people from the city, because the Fire Nation will think that pentapox is a real virus and that the people are going to be sick. So better let them out and don't touch them and that kind of thing. Now, the way pentapox is set up in this show is supposed to be like a virus or something or other, but the people that are actually infected with it, they go out with like a zombie outbreak, and you see them all shuffling along and moaning into themselves like you would expect from a zombie. And the old-fashioned zombie, not the Resident Evil zombies. But anyway, think of it as that they're very fine when the little octopi put their marks on you, that you're fine. Just with a few marks on you. That's it. But the funny thing is that people always associate this pentapox thing, which I don't even know if it's really a virus or a disease in the Avatar universe. So you guys will have to let me know about that in the comments, that it's a real thing in this universe. So anyway, they like to attribute this for some kind of prediction or some kind of a prophecy of some kind for what would happen with COVID-19, being spread from a Chinese, designed after Chinese type society. I don't think so. I don't think that was it. I think that it was too soon for them to actually predict that, and I think that you could see about any virus in any TV show that was like a big massive outbreak could have predicted the what happened in Wuhan, China, and all that stuff. So I think it's kind of like a blending type thing. Like, they predicted this. This happened. This was this is what happened. They must have saw the future and were in the cartoon. But I view it as more of a circumstantial type thing, like coincidental, that it just so happened to be a virus outbreak, and it had nothing to do with the actual event that happened in 2018. And let's see here. Yeah, that was like really dumb for people to say that. But it's only a cartoon. It's not like The Simpsons, where there's real predictions going on there that really did happen down the road in history. Next thing you're gonna tell me that this show predicted real earth bending, or real fire bending, or real air bending, or water bending, or energy bending for that matter. So anyway, they have all this, and things to looking for his friend. And it's kind of interesting that the way they set this up, where in the first time that we're introduced to Omashu, everyone's all peaceful, everyone's happy, everyone's making jokes, everybody's remembering any good times at the nostalgia bar and stuff. Everything is kind of good fun and everything. But now, oh yeah, there will also be introduction to the cabbage guy. So, his unfortunate mishaps with trying to sell his product to everyone. So anyway, in this episode, it's more like depressing. The place got overrun by bad guys, you know, more of like a Japanese occupation type of thing. Like, you know, everyone's mood is very down. There's no citizenry in the area. The only one that a lot of like the high-ranking Fire Nation people and their families, you know, that type of thing. So Aang has to take it upon himself to try to find King Boomy, and he finds a pet Flopsy from the introduction of Boomy, and this whole powerful monster thing there that's really friendly in reality. It was like chained up by the Fire Nation to be used for some kind of power mill, whatever you call it, thing. And this goes to show how cruel the Fire Nation is toward nature, and that we have to control nature every possible moment, and ruin everyone's fun. Because as we all know, it all changed when the Fire Nation arrived. So anyway, he's gotta find this guy Boomy to teach him earthbending, because apparently Boomy's like the ultimate master who can compare to Aang, novice with earthbending, doesn't even know anything about it. Views anybody at this point as being the master, and because they were friends from a long time ago, you know, he still he views King Boomy as the highest assault on the earthbenders. But don't get me wrong, he is very powerful, but he can't metal bend. Nobody can metal bend. In the story. We only have to wait till my favorite character develops metal bending for herself. Yes, Top Beifang is my favorite character in the whole show, and Korra too, and you can't change my mind about that. Anyway, I'll talk more about it later on when I talk about the Blind Bandit episode. But let's see here. I also love the figures that to hunt down the Avatar and her brother and her Dobby Uncle Iroh. She can't be using the royal fanfare, the royal train, because that takes too long and there's too much preparation to go with it. So she had to pick up an elite team, and the first one to go on it is Mai. Now, it's funny in this episode because I always thought that her name was Mai, as in mine, but they pronounce it as May. So I don't know which one is which one. It's M-A-I. It's the way you spell it in the show. So I always thought that was mine. But I guess not. I guess you can have it either or, depending on who it is. I guess it might be like a dialect type thing. Anyway, she's the real girlfriend of Zuko. Even though I believe that song would have been a better girlfriend, more compassionate, more emotional, prettier, than Maya. Maya is more like a grouchy, a glum, almost, I guess you would consider a goth girl. I should say, I can't believe that this is so boring, or that I would die for some action. And by herself, she is a very capable warrior. She uses throwing knives and daggers, like a ninja. And she's actually pretty cool, pretty good. Anyway, she's with her family, her younger and her baby brother, which I have a little bit of a pet peeve with this concept that she's gotta be like maybe I think 15 or 14 or 15 years old, and the kid's still in diapers. So the kid's gotta be at maximum 2 years old, somewhere around there. So that's a big difference in years. That's like 12-year difference, somewhere like that. So I never liked the idea that siblings being that far apart in age. In any case, it shows that Maya is very bored and everything, and that there's a little bit of a resistance to ATLA and the Foundation coming in and ruling it and taking over. And it's funny because they literally go underground and they will be discovered by the Avatar later on. But anyway, it shows that this family of my family is almost being destroyed by the resistance fighters, by them launching boulders down the way to get them, until I actually inadvertently blows with the boulders. I just hope that there was nobody in the landing spot for these boulders when he launched them away. So we're kind of like like almost like a guardian angel type thing. Like, he saved their lives, but they don't know about it. So anyway, you also have to, she also wanted to get this other character involved, an old friend of hers named Kylie. Now, I adore Kylie. She's very peppy and very, I have other reasons why I like her. I'm sure I would like her even more if I were younger when this show came out, but I like her too. She's very acrobatic and she uses her acupuncture pressure point type attacks to cripple anybody that's involved with water bending, fire bending, earth bending, or any other type of bending you can think of. Plus, she's also good with other non-bending people too. And let's see here. They actually involve her fighting with. Well, anyway, I'll talk about it a little bit later when they get to it. Anyway, it shows that she's working with the circus at the moment, and she said that her aura is very good in the circus environment, to which Zilla wants to change that so that she can work for her now. And she ends up having Kylie do like the solo performance just for her, and so she puts the net on fire, as well as all the wild animals go loose in the circus. And then Tully is obviously nervous at this and decides to change her position and go more toward Azula's team. And it's actually pretty funny that happened because I know that Tully's been doing this for years now, so she knows exactly what she's doing, but the fact that there's so much danger involved now makes her nervous and makes her slip up even more. Want to slip up even more. Because Azula puts focus on the danger aspect of it all. And that's no bueno. So anyway, Azula, Kylie joined the team, and they end up having to fight Team Avatar on the roof of one of the scaffoldings on one of the buildings. And it's funny because yeah, Mai actually beating up the people, and then what's his name? Katara uses her waterbending skill to freeze her arm so that my throwing dagger arm can't function right. You know, it's frozen like this. And Tyler comes along and does a little heat power on the pressure point. Katara's pressure points, and ends up making it so that you can't bend the water anymore. Which is, I think, a brilliant idea to make a non-bender on par with the power level of, say, water, earthbender, and firebender, and airbender, etc. So that's pretty cool. I would like to think that in the final fight with Ozai, that I actually learned from Teddy a little bit for his fight, and that it wasn't all just energy bending. They used energy bending. So anyway, they show that whatever ice constructs that Katara actually put up against Mai actually dissolved in the water. So that's a brilliant idea that you as a non-bender to actually take down the power of an actual bender. Kind of like a more powerful, more agile, more hostile version of Sokka, except without any weapons. So anyway, then what happened is that Azula ends up trying to fight with Aang himself, and then the Avatar is pinned down by these three people, by Ty Lee, and by Azula. So then they get ambushed by the resistance, and then a big stone tablet flips on them, and they end up falling to the ground, where they meet the resistance fighters and the citizens of Omashu. And that's where brilliant Sokka tried to come up with the idea about the Pentapod outbreak to let the people go out. And in the meantime, he had a little named what's a fun famous name, Momo, yeah, Momo. Yeah, they have Momo over there with getting some food for himself. And it turned out to be an unknown fruit. So he ends in the attention of the baby brother, Tom Tom, which reminded me of that MySpace founder, Tom Tom. So, anyway, the kid ends up following Momo out, grabbing his tail and stuff, and then going down the middle street, the famous middle streets, and he ends up in the care of the pent-up patients when he march out. The guard should knows a baby, a royal baby in there. So anyway, they end up wanting to trade the baby for the life of King Boomy, who is in the middle case because Earthbenders can't do anything about metal cases. So anyway, Katara is playing with the baby, being a mother and stuff like that. They show that the baby wants to play with Sokka's war staff, and with the big bowling with the bullet on the end of it. So she gives him the blade, but this is a weapon. This is a sharp edge. The baby could cut himself on it all the time. So why give a baby that? I don't care how much the baby cries, how much whines. It's still a bladed weapon, and the ball on the end is probably gonna be heavy enough to hurt the kid if the circumstances are bad. So anyway, I like the way that guy, the resistance leader, says that he can grow up to become a bad hombre, bad fighting person. And Katara says, does this look the face of a killer to you? Of course not. He's a baby. All babies are cute. Except me. But anyway, that brings up a good point, Not every Fire Nation person will become a firebender, or will become evil. They're under the impression that all firebenders are going to become evil. Or all Fire Nation people will become bad and against everybody else. Very imperialistic. But that's not the case by the end of the war. I also like the way the guy, when the second command said to him, that we should retreat now. Gather both forces to fight the Fire Nation as one united people, not just like Pacha here, Pacha there, and everything else. So the guy follows suit. And they want to exchange the baby for King Boomy. So that's okay. Now, they also use a thing where they use a falcon. Finally, he uses a falcon to track the baby down and give the message to Aang and the gang. Gives the baby, and we'll treat the king for it. So anyway, that's actually really hard. That's actually really nice. I want to say that in Imperial Japan, they use falcons for the same purpose. I think so. I think they use falcons for that reason. So anyway, they made the change with Aang and everybody else. And then they say that it's kind of unfair for them to want to exchange the king for a baby. And then they saw a big fight over it. And then the baby taken away by Nikita and Sokka with the others to take it outside the place. And then they end up showing a real nice intense fight between Aang getting King Boomy out of the custody of the Fire Nation and to be brought back later on. But they show a real nice chase sequence by which Boomy's container is falling down the metal chute, and with Azula in chase, and they show good fight with her, looks like her fireballs, and him creating debris to get in the way and stuff, until eventually she loses the chase, and it's such a pretty good. It's unsupposed the first time that they went to Omashu, where everything was fun and games and the light and everything else. This time it's a matter of life and death. So anyway, on the bottom of the hill, Aang is over there talking with King Boomy. And Boomy actually said there are 3 types of these called Jing, which Aang said that there were only 2 of them so far. There was positive Jing when you're doing something, when you're doing like an action, and negative Jing when you're retreating from a situation. Well, Boomy said that Jing where you do nothing. Even though there are technically like 75 or 85 different other Jings, but whatever. So anyway, he said that you have to find someone that masters the neutral Jing, and that will be your Earth Master, your Earth Bending Master, and that they have to be patient, and they have to wait, and they have to see what the neutral Jing will do. That's where Toph comes in. Toffee. So anyway, they end up showing that, what's his name, Boomy does this when he wanted to do nothing, and that originally, when the Fire Nation came over to Omashu, he didn't do anything, he just surrendered, even though everyone was curious as to why he did so, even though men were like, why the hell is he not doing anything? Is he crazy? Is he demented or something? But here's the thing that bothers me about this strategy. I mean, first of all, you would think that Earthbending Masters Defense Forces would know about the Jing thing. You know, the types of Jing that he practices. Number 2, these people are your defense force. You should tell them, what you're doing, why you're doing it. You can't just come over with playing like last minute. You're gonna do this, you're gonna do that, I'm gonna change my plan and all that. I have to let these people know what they're gonna do. You have thousands of citizens in your care. You should know better than this. You should be unprepared. Talk to your generals. like the way when Rumi is done with all this explaining himself, he ends up going right back up to where Azula is. He goes right back into the custody. He can do that because when they captured him, they didn't cover up his face. His face is enough to be able to defend against fireball attacks. Push himself back up the route from when he slid down with Aang before. And it just proves how crazy like a fox he is, and how very interesting he can be. Now, I don't like that idea about just giving the teaching of Aang earthbending to somebody else. You know, Boomy should at least give them some kind of like an introduction course into earthbending. You shouldn't just rely on Saria, because for all he knows, this somebody else could be dead, could be not available at the time, could be doing something else, or the person could be doing some other type of thing with other earthbenders. So anyway, they end up cutting that night when the resistance and the rest of the citizens of Omashu are leaving, and they all cut to a scene that Tom Tom's parents and my parents over there crying and being forlorn, thinking that the kid is lost, that there is no hope for getting him back. And you know what? Yeah, that's what I thought too. And then they'd be crying and stuff for the kid. But the Aang, like a little ninja, like a bull-bolted ninja, gives the kid back to them without them knowing about it. Kind of like another guardian angel type thing. Of course, the parents and my are very grateful to whoever it was that brought the kid back. And it's funny because Aang did not get what he wanted. He did not get Boomy to be back, but he did get advice from Boomy as to what to do for the genes and getting the right teacher for him, someone who is better than King Boomy, because King Boomy is fit and everything, but he's still over 100 years old. You know, Toph is only 10 years old or 12 years old at this point, so she's still got time to perfect all the intricacies of earthbending. Plus, can make up her own metal bending and anything else bending. Now, do you guys think that King Boomy has the power to send Ben 2 and possibly Bone Ben and Glass Ben 2? Because that's a kind of offset capability of them too. And I also love Ben too. But I like the way Aang is very forgiving and very helpful towards people that lose their loved ones, like the Tom Tom parents. By the way, Tom Tom remind me of the GPS unit. My dad has one of those, and let's see what else there. Tom actually remind me of Aang when he was a baby, like when he was a really young baby, and he just became the Avatar. So, everyone's all happy at the end. The parents get reunited with the kid. Well, the citizenry of Omashu get out free. And everyone's all nice and calm and everything. But Momo get out without problems. And Team Avatar escape too. And King Boomy is with the Foundation at this point. So yeah, I like the fact that they never actually show that and learn earthbending from anybody. And I like the way it would present now. The earthbending is still like an impossible event to overcome. That there's no way to do it right now. Where Boomy and other earthbenders can do with ease. Anyway, I thank you for watching my little review of the third episode in Season 2 or Book 2 of Avatar: The Lost Airbender. This is really nice, and it really shows Aang's passion for the kid and for the parents. And I like the way he doesn't get credit for giving back the kid. He could have just been like, how you do it? I'm gonna give you back the kid now. I don't want any credit by what I want to give this year. And all that, because he belongs with you guys. But he didn't do that. He was so humble and everything. I also like the pencil pot joke that they have. That the Foundation doesn't want anything to do with these people. Because they don't want to get sick themselves. This big tough warrior group doesn't want to be touched by an illness which may or may not exist. And Momo's got comedy bits in it too. Being able to carry a full kid. Kids gotta weigh at least 20 pounds. Oh yeah, by the way, the name of the episode is Return to Omashu, a much more dark place than what they originally had planned for it. For the first time that went to Omashu, there was no cabbage guy, which was a big disappointment to me. I like cabbage. I like that guy too. Anyway, this is a pretty good episode. A lot of action. The introduction of Mai and Kylie make for a very good non-bending compliment to Azula's bloodthirsty firebending ways. She still hasn't mastered the art of flight yet, but I'm sure that the flight thing will come later on. Until now, she probably is gonna give back the Vatican way to do it. It's becoming more terrifying to anybody. Anyway, I would like to give this episode my happy piece. Silver Pool, because it shows how terrifying the Foundation can be, and how they're very relentless in taking over stuff that normally shouldn't be taken over. It was thought impossible by many people, including the Avatar. And this is just a really cool episode. It shows that a non-bender like Kylie can actually be a significant threat to the the venues of the world, and with education, her skills were passed on to other people. Same with mine too. But yeah, if you like what you see here, and you like to see more of my stuff, and we like, comment, share, and subscribe to my channel. You can also contact me for future information on my videos by calling me or texting me at 631-707-3707, or you can get my Instagram at JJ Maelstrom, and Instagram. My Facebook is just Lindicina, and my email is jjviewingchannel@gmail.com. It will all be on my description of the video below, on my links. And that was the year. I salute anyone that likes the show, any of the voice actors or actresses in the show. The animation is gorgeous, as well. Little Pentapox, little purple squid thing there. Just adorable. I want one for a pet. And yeah. I recommend to anyone that likes the animation, the anime inspired stuff. So anyway, peace out, my brothers and sisters. I'll see you in the next video, all you girls and guys in internet land. Sayonara, ciao ciao, and I'll protect you.